So in the photograph, in the first one, you just looked at the photograph, and surely he's not a burglar because he's got a smile on his face. He's not a senator because senators don't dress that way. But this is how senators dress. And that's how the light hit the senator's head. It's like the gleam in heaven, right? Look how it's coming from above. It's hitting his head. The facial expression, the tie, the white suit. Look at that. So the photographer now working as a graphic artist begins to think, okay, I want to communicate him as a senator. How do I do that? So that's one. And then we go, look at this photo. What's about this photo? Okay. You got a little chart behind him so you know how big his head is. Right? So if you want to see, like, identify what's 5 inches between his eyes or whatever. And look at his facial expression, what he's wearing. He's wearing something you'd wear at a... Look at this guy. Flannel shirt, hat on. Always when you catch fish, always do it like this in the camera. It makes them look bigger than they are. Always put the fish back here. Do it like that, so because of foreshortening or whatever, it makes the fish like it's really... So he's got those fish that are really tiny fish. They look huge. And he's happy. Look at the expression on his face. He's like, you know, I'm accomplished. I'm done. Well, what's the same about all this, right? The text is still the same, but also pretty much the size of the image is all the same. Different image. The photography is really much, this and this are about the same. The facial size pretty much takes up the same place. The format's the same. And the text is the same. But all of a sudden we're getting closer to the meaning of who this guy is, right? We're trying to. Now the graphic designer is thinking about the font. We call it typographic resonance. That the font that I use conveys information. In fact, one student one time did their whole portfolio with Old English design. You know what Old English design looks like? You know, all silly stuff? And I would start cracking up and going, what the heck are you doing, you know? And she goes, well, I think it's a beautiful lettering. I said, well, what kind of message is that sending? Here you have this project, it's the most modernist project in the world. You're using this Old English. I can see maybe if you were designing a cottage or maybe a renovation of an Old English something, maybe it would make sense. There would be a resonance there. I'm not sure your portfolio design. You can't even read the letters. I need an interpreter. Is that a B or an S or what is it? So again, they were not thinking about this idea that the font sends messages. And think about that when you use the font in your portfolio. If you want to say, look at the font, look at how cool the font is, maybe you do. Maybe you need to create, like these are, creating the font that supports the word. Maybe you don't. So what we see is a scale change in the photograph. We see graphic supplemental elements, like especially in the re-elect Senator Pruitt. Look at these stars. Chops his head off and just frames him with really bold word Pruitt here. You know how it's really, stands out. And look how the little photograph back here is very small. This is really large. The bulletin's up there now, the numbers. So we can say it's Sergeant Bulletin J4327. And then Pruitt and then here he has a supplement of the fish, which really helps his design. So this is how a graphic artist begins to communicate. As architects, we're not taught a lot in graphic design, but our portfolio has to communicate information. We can do it different ways, and this is how we do it in terms of messages about people and particular